Hi everyone, Glacier here. Today I will be showing you how you can make canine snouts for your masks. So first of all, you're gonna need a mask base. You can either use a homemade one like me, or you can use a pre-made cat mask base. Then you're going to need a sheet of craft foam. This one is 4mm thick. It can also be good to have a 2mm thick one on hand. You're going to see me use upholstery foam later in this video, but you can use craft foam instead as well. You're going to need scissors and or a craft knife. You'll also need a hot glue gun. So to start, you'll take your pattern. You can just draw one similar to mine here and trace it onto your craft foam. I ended up changing my pattern a little bit later in the video, so I unfortunately won't be providing any scans of it. But feel free to screenshot the video and use mine as inspiration for your own pattern. Then you're going to want to cut it out and do it again so you get two pieces. I like to even out the corners on one side of the foam a little bit. I just think it looks nicer when you fur it later. Just make sure you're mirroring the pieces though. Now you're going to want to glue it onto your mask. You can experiment a little bit with where you want it to go. Just make sure you're gluing the pieces down symmetrically. It can be a good idea to measure it out first. Now I'm just gluing the pieces together in the front, and this is about the time when I realized the snout was too bulky for what I had in mind. Coyotes have very narrow snouts, so I had to trim them down a little bit. I used the cutout piece as a pattern for the other side to make it more symmetrical. And then I also trimmed down the inner edge a bit again. Here's the top part of the snout. I just made a pattern slightly wider than the empty area between the foam pieces. I also trimmed the edges here down a bit too to make them look a little bit neater. You're gonna want to glue it down carefully, starting in the front. Just like pressing the edges together and just try to make it look as smooth as you possibly can. And now you will have a basic foam snout for your mask. However, it's going to look a little bit odd, because now you want to even out the transition between the snout and the cheeks. And you also might want to make a nose bridge. Here I used upholstery foam, but you can also use craft foam. I used to always use craft foam, but I just found that upholstery foam is a little bit faster to do. I cut out little pieces of it, then I glue them down, mirroring them for each side, and then I trim them down as smoothly as I can. If you're using craft foam for this, I suggest that you glue some felt over the edges instead, as it can be a bit difficult to trim them nicely. You can use the fabric you will fur or felt your mask with and hold it against the mask to check if it looks smooth enough. If it doesn't, then just go in and trim it a bit more. And if you like it, then go ahead and felt and paint the mask as you usually would. So now I have furred and painted the mask, and I'm just gluing down the little nose that I made. I won't show you how I make the noses because it would just be half an hour of me wrestling with the clay. And now you have a mask with a canine snout. I'm sorry it was a little bit messy. I have a very messy method of making them, but I hope this could at least be of some help to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.